From Roman Polanski getting banned for assaulting a minor, to Jason Statham getting the boot for not taking pictures with the models, here are the craziest reasons why celebs were banned from the Playboy Mansion. So first up, we've got Luke Wilson. Why did he get banned, you ask? Well, apparently he tried to sneak a buddy in by pretending his buddy was his brother, Owen Wilson. Smooth move, right? Except it landed him on the DNA list. That's a do not admit list, folks. Ouch! Actually, it was his friend, Eckelman, who tried to pull a fast one by pretending to be Owen Wilson. And let me tell you, this guy did not look like Owen. So Luke had to call up Mary, the woman who basically runs the whole show, and beg for forgiveness. He even cried on the phone saying how stupid and wrong he was for lying. I guess it worked, because he eventually got back in the mansion's good graces. He was stuck with that ban for a whole year and a half before they let him back into the party scene. And let me tell you, it's not easy to get into those shindigs. They only let in the lucky few who make it onto the guest list. Oh, and if you're a lady, you better send in your best selfies, so the higher-ups can judge if you're hot enough to join the party. It's like a real-life version of Mean Girls, except with more bunny ears and fewer mathletes. And then we've got an NFL player on the list, Jim Brown. So apparently the retired NFL player was a regular at the Playboy Mansion back in the day. He was tight with Hefner and everything, but it turns out he was also a bit of a troublemaker. Despite some bad behavior, he managed to slide by without getting called out, until he beat up a girl so badly that she had to be hospitalized. Yikes. You'd think that would be the end of his mansion days, but nope. After a short break, he was back to his old ways. It's crazy how some people get away with stuff just because they're famous. The Playboy Mansion sure knows how to keep tongues wagging. Some of the former housemates have spilled the beans on what goes on inside, and it's gotten them banned from the premises. One of these gals is Holly Madison, who used to be pretty tight with Hefner himself. But after a while, she couldn't take it anymore and decided to bolt. And get this, she was so scared of what Hefner might do that she thought she had to sneak out like a spy. Why? Because the dude had some indecent pictures of her that she didn't want to get out. But wait, it gets worse. Apparently, Hefner had a whole scrapbook full of these kinds of photos, and he was planning on donating them someday. Talk about creepy. It sounds like life in the Playboy Mansion was anything but a party for Holly Madison. She's come forward with some seriously disturbing allegations about her time there. Apparently, she took part in group sex sessions that left her feeling freaked out and ashamed. And it wasn't just that. She also said that Hefner was a cruelly manipulative guy who made her feel like she was worth nothing. In fact, she was so traumatized by her experiences that she developed a stammer. To top it all off, she claimed that Hefner offered her drugs that would make her more, receptive to his advances. Just thinking about it gives me the creeps. I mean, that was disturbing, right? But not as disturbing as sleeping with a minor. All right, here's a juicy bit of gossip for you. Turns out, Hugh Hefner and filmmaker Roman Polanski were pretty good friends back in the day. Polanski was always hanging around the Playboy Mansion, and he had a bit of a reputation for going after younger women. In fact, in 1978, he got in some serious legal trouble for having unlawful intercourse with a 13-year-old girl. And you guessed it, he got banned after that. Yikes. He ended up pleading guilty and fleeing to Europe, effectively cutting ties with the mansion. But here's where it gets even more scandalous. 5 years later, Hefner allowed him to return. Apparently, their friendship was strong enough to overlook Polanski's, shall we say, questionable behavior. Yeah, that was messed up. And then we've got the most innocent ban, Jason Statham. It looks like even a tough guy like Statham couldn't escape the strict rules of the Playboy Mansion. When he showed up to a party there back in 2008 wearing just a bathrobe, Hugh Hefner was not impressed. Apparently, one of the most important things about attending these parties is taking photos with the models, and Statham didn't want to do it. So what happened? Hefner kicked him out, but don't worry. He eventually made amends and was able to attend a screening of his movie Parker at the mansion 5 years later. And then we've got two celebrities who got banned because of STDs. I'm talking about Carissa and Christina Shannon. So the twins were just 18 when they became playmates and started living at the Playboy Mansion. Meanwhile, Hefner was a whopping 83 years old. The girls had sexual encounters with Hefner that left them with PTSD and even chlamydia by the time they were just 19. That's seriously messed up. Eventually, after 18 months and a pregnancy scare, the twins had had enough and decided to leave the mansion. But get this, they were told they couldn't come back unless they agreed to do the deed with Hefner again. Can you believe that? It's no wonder these poor girls were so traumatized by their experiences. And that's not it. Honestly, the more we learn about the mansion, the more disturbing it all gets. The poor twins ended up having intimate encounters with him and other women most nights, and Hefner even insisted they call him Papa. Christina described the experience as feeling like they were living with the devil. And that's not even the worst part. Hefner would often take 6 or 7 girls up to his room around midnight, where he would be lying in the center of the bed on his back with a big mirror on the ceiling. It's all just so creepy and unsettling. Moving on. There's a certain someone who got banned for spilling some piping hot tea. Okay, so apparently model Carla Howe wasn't too thrilled with her time at the Playboy mansion. She spilled the tea back in 2015, saying it felt more like a prison than a party pad. They had all kinds of strict rules, no dudes allowed, and the ladies had to be back before 9 p.m. or risk getting the boot. Not exactly the wild and crazy lifestyle you'd expect, right? It's no wonder Carla didn't stick around for long, and just to add insult to injury, Hefner ended up kicking the bucket not long after she left. Howe also revealed that Hefner was a bit of a homebody and spent most of his time playing chess and watching old movies with his buddies. And as for the mansion itself, well, let's just say it's seen better days. Carla said it's starting to look tired and outdated, with old phones hanging on the walls and bedrooms that smelled damp and felt cold and unused. Sounds like a real fixer-upper, right? It's no wonder Carla wasn't too thrilled with her stay there. After Holly Madison and Carla spilled the tea about her time at the Playboy mansion, Kendra Wilkinson wasn't far behind with her own tales to tell. She moved in at the tender age of 18 and revealed that she had to agree to sleep with Hugh Hefner if she wanted to live in the mansion. She claims that she had no idea that sex was a requirement when she moved in. Apparently, she was pretty naive about the whole thing. In fact, while she was competing on the reality show I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here in 2014, she admitted that she didn't even know what she was getting herself into. Talk about being in over your head. It's no wonder Kendra eventually left the mansion and started a new life. Eventually, she left the place and started a family. And there you have it. The craziest reasons why celebs were banned from the Playboy mansion.